Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Why I love Superman and Lois. Since 1978, Richard Donner's directed Superman the movie. There hasn't been a film that's captivated the public's love, affection, and affinity for Superman. Whether you like it or not, whether you're a Superboy fan, whether you're a Lois and Clark fan, The New Adventures of Superman, or the George Reeves series, or Henry Cavill as Superman, no version of Superman has captivated the audience's attention and love since Richard Donner's Superman the movie. They're the facts. And there's always been this kind of why? What is it with that first film? And why haven't they been able to repeat that success? I think the only Superman thing pre-Superman and Lois that got anywhere near that love and good feeling for Superman was Smallville, because they got the character right, the show right, and they achieved so much with that version of Clark Kent. Smallville's Clark Kent wasn't perfect. He was a young boy, which means he made mistakes. So Superman and Lois is an interesting one. It started with a bit of controversy. It had a writer on there called Nadra Tucker who was very upset because the studio and the network wouldn't cast actors of colour as Jonathan and Martha Kent. Of course, this was supposed to be a racist thing, and she went on social media and she attacked the studio. Of course, what exposed this woman a great deal was that an actor of colour was going to play a really big role in the first season, Will Parks, and he's involved in the second season as well. And plus, Lana Lang, the actress who played Lana, and the actress who played her family, her husband, and her daughters, are all populated by Latino actors. So there's a lot of inclusion in this show, fact. But Tyler Hoechlin was cast before Superman and Lois as Superman, as he was introduced into season 2 of the Supergirl show. I remember watching Tyler in his very first episode, and I was so surprised and happy. He had so much charm as Superman, that gentlemanly conduct he has, the way he walks in the DOA or whatever it's called, the headquarters where Supergirl works, and that kind of angst he had with Martian Manhunter. It was a perfect introduction. Now, after his introduction, they I think they dropped the ball with his version of Superman. But in terms of Tyler, he was an amazing version of Superman. Now, some people criticize him for being too short, being shorter than the Jimmy Olsen actor, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, he leaps up higher with his performances and the way he plays Superman. He's a really good Clark Kent, and he's a really good Superman. I wasn't exactly enamored with the casting of Elizabeth Tulloch as Lois Lane when they were adding her to kind of the crossovers. I always liked Liz. I thought she was amazing in other shows, but I wasn't sure if she was someone who could really capture who Lois Lane is. And she's really surprised me on the Superman and Lois show. What's amazing about this show, because clearly the studio are very protective of the character of Superman. That's why we haven't seen Superman in live action movies since 2017's Calamity Justice League, because they know the character was done dirty in that film, and they know they have to think long and hard until we see him again. But I think they knew that they couldn't just, I think it's clear that they wanted to make an inclusive version of Superman, a very modern take on Superman, but they knew they couldn't take any liberties with the character. And this couldn't be a show where this was Lois Lane's show and Superman was a guest star on his own show. That would have been very highly problematic. Tyler Hoechlin is the star of Superman and Lois, but Elizabeth Tulloch's Lois Lane and the two boys are very good. They play a huge part. And what you've got on this show for the teenagers, you've got Sarah, you've got the brothers, you've got that element of the show. But also Jordan has powers. He struggles with his powers. He suffers with anxiety. He's got this kind of relationship with Sarah, who's Lorna Lang's daughter. And they've got lots of great supporting characters. But Tyler Hoechlin is his show. And I think what's great in this second season is that you've got him playing two different roles in terms of Clark, Superman, and Bizarro. The Bizarro thing came out of nowhere. But this Bizarro thing is amazing. No matter what anyone says, the VFX of Superman and Lois is outstanding on a television budget. There's no question it has a higher budget than Smallville ever did. But it looks great, the writing's great, and they've done Superman justice on this show. And they really do bring a lot of themes from the source material in the comics. The question in the season 2 has been, should Superman just serve America or the whole world? For me, Superman has always been, to me, a universal hero. A man who can turn up on another planet and try and solve those people's problems by working with them. So he's always been a universal hero, not an American hero. Now, when the comics first started, he was kind of so American, quintessentially American, but there's always been a debate between nationalists and, other people, should he be an American hero? Should he be quintessentially American? Or should he be this global universal hero? And I think it's quite simple, unless you've got issues. Superman is there for everyone, whether you're an Indian, a Latino, a native, whatever. But wherever you come from, Superman can represent you. Me, as an Anglo-Greek Cypriot young man, I saw Superman the movie, my first exposure to Superman, when I was 10 years old. And I related to this character. I related to the powers, the adventure element of him, but the fact that he felt like an outsider, and he was someone I could aspire to be as a young boy being bullied, who had learning difficulties. Superman was the character for me because he made you feel better about yourself. And if you went and did something and it was wrong, you think, Clark wouldn't do that, so I shouldn't be doing that. So there's a lot of elements of Clark and Superman that are really great for young people. So when people tell you he's boring, he's not relatable, you can refer them to this video. But in terms of Superman and Lois, I think in a lot of ways, it's the first version where all Superman fans can say, we like this. This is a really good version. As I say, it looks great, it feels great, and there's a great emotional situation. The family dynamic of Clark and Lois and the boys is very relatable to mainstream families and the struggles that they have. They're moving to Smallville, leaving the big city, and the challenges the boys had in the first season, acclimatizing to living in a small town. And that element is done. You love the characters as much as the superhero stuff, a bit like Smallville. The characters were as interesting in their small situations as Clark fighting, mutants that were infected with kryptonite. And so that's what this show is. The difference between Smallville and Superman and Lois is that Superman is actually in this show. This is a Superman show. But I think it's very interesting this year where they made the decision where, Tyler would be front and center, with these two versions, kind of different versions. You've got one version, Bizarro, and you've got Superman. And in the next episode, and we spoke about this today on the DCEU Daily Live, where he's going to be accused of treason because of what Bizarro's doing. So it's a really good show run by someone very clever. It's by Todd Helbing, who created pretty much and was running for 2 seasons the Flash show, which was very successful in its early stages. And you can see the nuance and the effort and the hard work, because this couldn't just be any old show. This is Superman. It had to work and it had to adapt the character in the right way. And if you ever want to see perfect Superman being displayed, go and watch the pilot episode of Superman and Lois. I found it emotional. I found it relatable. It was an amazing first step. You know, I love the Smallville pilot, but this really is on another level. And for me, I didn't know how I was going to feel about Superman and Lois when I heard the title, Superman and Lois. I thought, here we go. This is not going to be Superman's show. This is just about, you know, the usual stuff they do. But to be fair, it's Superman's show. Lois plays a major part. The boys play a major part. But this is about Superman in his life. This is a really brilliant, fresh take, which I told people about even before everyone saw it, that this would be a really fresh take. The family dynamic, you know, having Superman living in Smallville, but going around saving people in other places, because he can do that. After all, he's Superman. So it's a really fresh and original take. Is there any worries from me that they could drop the ball eventually? Well, basically the CW Arrowverse has always had this: one good season, two good seasons, then they drop the ball. I hope they don't drop the ball. This does feel more of an HBO Max show than a CW show, but it's whoever it is, whoever's running this, whoever's funding this, it's very good. And at least we've got one version of Superman in live action, because we don't have him anywhere else at this moment. Who knows if we're going to see Henry Cavill again in Black Adam, the Flash movie, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. We do need a live action Superman. Luckily for us, with Zaslav and Discovery coming, Superman is absolutely his priority. But Superman and Lois is a show that is an example to comic book writers who say Superman's so difficult to write. Superman's not relevant. He is relevant. It says so in Superman and Lois. This has been Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again when we're live later on tonight after me dinner. So I'll be live tonight. Looking forward to it. We're going to talk about anything you want. I know you're mostly going to want to talk about the Batman, but that's not the only thing we have to talk about. Until then, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.